Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel and to some more buckshot patterning. And right off the bat, I apologize if I sound a little nasally this morning. I guess I've picked up some kind of seasonal cold or something, but we're still out here because we've got testing to do. And for today's test, it's one that one of you guys requested to see done a while ago, so I apologize that it's taken this long to try it, but here we are and we're going to see what it can do. But as for those shells I brought today, I got out some more of these. The sticker's kind of covering it here, but these are some Sterling Big Game Series double-aught buckshot shells. They are a 12 gauge, 2 3/4 inch, 9 pellet load of double-aught buck, supposedly moving about 1,330 feet per second. And we have tested these a couple times on the channel before with some pretty mediocre results from what I can remember. I don't think they were necessarily atrocious, but I definitely don't remember them being anything special to write home about. So maybe through this choke, it might really be the combination that they like, but I don't know yet. And here's what one of those shells looks like. As you can see, there's no wad, there's no buffer material. The pellets are not plated at all. So this is just a plastic hull with 9 pellets of double-aught buck up here at the very top. So very cheap, very basic import style shell. So I think it's really going to come down to what this choke can do for these. So as for our setup today, I brought out the Remington 1187, and for the choke, I went with this guy. This is a Patternmaster Black Mamba 690 constriction choke, and this is Patternmaster's kind of do-all choke where you can shoot waterfowl loads, turkey loads, buckshot, and stuff like that through it. And like I mentioned earlier, it has really helped some of these cheaper buckshot loads before, and we've seen some great results through it, so we'll see what it can do for these Sterling buckshot loads. So as for our test today, everything is set up the same as usual. I've got the big sheet of paper at 40 yards, I've got the chronograph so we can get our velocity, and I've got the templates that we can lay up over our results when we go check those out. So let's get you guys a view of that target and see just what the Sterling 9 pellet double-aught shells can do through this Black Mamba 690. It might be decent, it might be terrible, but let's try it and see what we get. Alright, so that shell gave us 1267 through the chrono. The box does claim 1330, so out of that 28-inch barrel, we didn't quite reach that velocity, but 1267 is plenty good enough for a 9 pellet double-aught buck shell. Very average, standard, run-of-the-mill stuff here. So I'd say we're looking pretty decent overall. But what kind of a pattern did they give us down at 40? Let's go check it out and see what we got. Alright, so now we're down here at our 40-yard paper, and this is what we got. And it's kind of somewhere in the middle, to be honest with you. Is it a fantastic buckshot pattern right off the bat? Definitely not. We've seen way better out of other shells, without a doubt. But I do think that Black Mamba helped these out some. I think this is probably one of the better patterns we've seen out of them. We did have all 9 pellets on the actual paper, but we definitely had a flyer or two down there at the bottom, too. Along with what looks like a pretty big void right dead in the middle of the pattern there, right? Essentially just on the bottom left corner of that white dot. So a little bit of a donut pattern starting here, it looks like, potentially, which is not really what we want to see, that's for sure. I did measure the farthest 2 points across, including the flyer down there at the bottom left, gave us a 31-inch spread at 40 yards. Now, obviously, if we discount that flyer, we will have a little bit tighter of a spread there, but that still doesn't get rid of that big void in the middle of the pattern. So overall, on the blank sheet of paper here, kind of mixed results. It is definitely nothing special to write home about, and I don't think it's going to be super impressive either when we put our templates up. So initially, it looks like this is probably just one of those cases where this load is either a pretty cheap plinking range type of load, or if you needed it for home defense or something at 10-15 yards, it would do just fine for that as well. But let's throw some actual templates up and see how it would look in a more real life scenario rather than just a big blank sheet of paper. So first up, here's our 10-inch circle, and we were just a little touch low and left. And as you can see, that big giant hole in the middle of our pattern means we have no pellets within a 10-inch circle at 40 yards. Definitely not what you want to see there, that's for sure. That's where you want the majority of your pellets to be, and when you don't have any there, then that's definitely going to lead to some disappointment if you were to try and hunt with these or something. But speaking of hunting, let's throw an actual animal template up and see what this would look like if you would have taken this combo out in the woods on a hunt. Alright, so here's our deer template, and right off the bat, you can see it's definitely not so great looking. We only had 3 pellets that would have definitely hit that deer if you would have held right at the shoulder like that where the white dot was. And would that be a dead deer? Probably so. I mean, you did have one right through the shoulder up there, one that might have clipped the spine, and one that was a little farther back. So I think that deer would have still gone down, but that might have been one that you never recovered. And you can really see right there around that white dot and just to the left of it, it where we have no pellets. So definitely not the pattern that I would want to take out on a hunt, that's for sure. Now here's where I would normally switch over to putting the hog template up as well, and I don't even know that it's really worth it. The hog is a little bit smaller than this deer is, and I think it would probably look even worse, to be honest with you. We might have 1 or 2 pellets in there. So overall, is the entire size of the pattern better with that Black Mamba choke? Yes, I do think so, but we definitely have a giant void right in the middle of it, which is not at all what you want to see if you want to actually like take these out on a hunt or something like that. So at the end of the day, is it too surprising? Probably not. These are a very cheap, super basic import load, and with them not being plated or having a wad or no buffer material or anything like that, we can't expect too much out of them like a much fancier or higher end type of round. So on one hand, we saw improvement in the overall size, but it's still not anything super impressive. So for today, I'm calling this a pretty good cheap range round or something, and I think that's kind of what they are at the end of the day. So I was hoping to see a little bit better out of them, but it's not very surprising, all things considered. All right, y'all. Well, what did you think about that performance right there? Definitely an overall size of the pattern improvement, but as for pattern consistency, I don't think we really gained a whole lot here. Could we have taken 2, 3, 4 more shots or whatever and had a couple that would have filled in a pellet or 2 in the center of our pattern? Probably so, but if that was the shot that counted, that's what you would have had to work with. And at the end of the day, these are a cheap import shell that has no help at all with the pellets not being plated, not having a wad, not having buffer or anything like that. So I don't think this result is too surprising. It's a good, cheap range plinking round at the end of the day. And if for whatever reason this is all you could find to hunt with, I would probably keep it as close of a range as I possibly could. So was I hoping to see a little bit better out of it through that Black Mamba? Yeah, probably, but this isn't really too surprising either. So I guess leave all your thoughts in the comments. Is that about what you expected to see? Were you surprised one way or the other? Have you tested any of these Sterling big game double-aught shells? And if so, what kind of results have you seen from them? And is there another choke or shell combo that you want to see us run with either those Sterling double-aught or that Patternmaster Black Mamba choke? Let me know all that down below. But with that being said, I've got some more testing to get done for you guys, so I'm going to get back to it. As always, we have the channel Instagram as well as the mailbox where you can send stuff if you'd like. All that information will be in the description if you're interested in it, but I'm going to get back to it, so I'll see y'all in the next one.